What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Eclectic Beard. So this go around, we got what's something dumb an American said to you as a foreigner. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this because I'm sure this is going to be quite enlightening.
Okay, so I was born in Venezuela, but I grew up in the US, and my parents and we've gotten asked if we have cars, elevators, traffic lights, fast food restaurants, sidewalks, houses and apartments in Venezuela.
Basically, if you have civilization. That's what you were asked.
Yes. Yes, we do. Why wouldn't we have those things? I don't understand, but okay. My dad told me this funny story of how in the 70s my uncle dated this American girl and they lived together in an apartment in Chicago. And apparently she thought that in Venezuela people didn't have kitchens. And so when my dad and grandpa went to go visit them, she was like, "Come here. You see this? This is a fridge." And she started doing that to everything in the kitchen and they were like, "Okay, we know." And so months later she went to go visit them in Venezuela and realized that people do have kitchens.
I feel like a
and you
dummy.
could tell that she was so embarrassed and she felt stupid. And my grandpa was like, "Come here." And he reenacted everything that she did when they went to go visit her. And so
What's some dummy?
That's only right. It's only right that that was done. Just saying.
So first off, I want to say I'm Native American of the UMA. But we all know who you mean by American. So a while back, a few months ago, this American asks me, why do me and my son have long hair, right? Since we're boys or whatever, and I was like, we're Native American or of the Yomi tribe, and he goes, no. I was like, excuse me. He goes, Native Americans are gonna stink. We kill all of them. I'm like, are you serious? And then
Yeah, didn't you know smallpox got all of them? Oh my god, the idiocy of people!
I noticed he had a bag from the Desert Diamond Casino, and I go, who do you think runs the casinos? And he kind of looks at me with a blank expression. I'm like, we're not all dead. Dumbass. Oh, excuse me. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
My mom's side of the family is from Ecuador, so I ended up living there for 7 years as a kid. So this one day I'm hanging out with my white American ex, and he asks me to show him what it looks like where my family lives. So I dropped a little Google pin so I can show him, and he looked so confused. And he turns to me and he says, "Is this a neighborhood?" Long story short, this man was not expecting that we had houses.
Excuse me, lady. Do you speak Asian? I'm sorry, what? Asian? Which Asian? There are like over 2,000 languages spoken in Asia. Yeah, I'm looking for rice wine. I mean, here you go, but it literally says rice wine in English. Do you know if this one is spicy? I mean, I guess so. There's literally a chicken blowing a fire on that bottle. Ah, thank you.
What's some
Bro, oh my god. Do you speak Asian? Which language? Like, seriously.
Oh wow, you speak perfect English.
Do you have Christmas in Ireland? Yes, we do. Do you have Thanksgiving in Ireland? No, we don't. Do you have Halloween in Ireland? We invented the thing.
Bro, my thing is, I don't understand how in an information age people can still be so stupid. Like, Google exists for a reason. Before you ask the question, Google it. Inform yourself. Don't assume or don't project.
My history teacher told me that British colonialism was a good thing in India because they gave us coffee and paved roads.
That wasn't exactly American, but it's not something I haven't heard in my comments or read in my comments in reference to India.
So I'd like to preface this by saying that I was born in America, and pretty much everyone knows that. Like, I'm clearly a brown person, but the reason why I bring that up is why this story makes absolutely no sense. So I was going to a client meeting with one of my coworkers, and yes, he is. And it's like super hot in this building. And so like I'm like taking off my blazer and I'm like, oh my God, it's so hot. This guy looks straight at me and goes, aren't you used to this weather?
Oh, no.
He's a New Yorker.
No.
I'm a New Yorker. So I'm like a little bit confused. And he literally goes, I thought it was just like generational that your people would be used to hot weather.
Wow. Wow. How are you that stupid? How do you exist and you're that dumb is my question. Like, that is absolutely asinine. Wow. Ooh. Wow, dude. Come on now.
Can't even make this shit up.
Okay, so I'm Canadian, and I used to be working in finance as an advisor, and I had this older couple in my office, and I was doing their finances. I was an advisor doing their finances. And we were talking about making conversation, things coming up in the summer. I enjoy all the festivals that happen in my city. I particularly enjoy this one food festival where people of all different cultures and countries set up a tent from their country and you can try the food of that culture and country. And I just love going and trying all the different foods. And so I said I was looking forward to this festival. And the guy looked at me and said, sell falafel? And I said, what? Excuse me? And he said, do you sell falafel? And I looked at him and he said, do you have a falafel stand? No.
Bruh, like, why even... It's not even related. Like, why even...
When I was 14, we emigrated from Ireland to America, and obviously because I was 14, I had to go to school. So my first day of school, I went into my history class, and they were showing Far and Away as a movie about Irish immigration. Hilarious. And, they were showing all the thatch roof cottages and everything like that. And a girl turns around to me and she's just like, oh my God, is that what your house is like back in Ireland? And I was just like, yeah, totally. And she obviously didn't get the sarcasm. Sarcasm isn't a very big thing there. But also, this was the 90s. We had no internet that back then or Google or whatever. So people didn't really know much about it. So, yeah, I could have made up anything. But that was one of the few things that was said to me when I lived in America.
All right, because the U.S. is the only place that has proper houses. At least that's the way everybody thinks.
So I'm Malawian. I live in the US, but my first time in the US was in 2012 in San Diego. And so one time we went to a restaurant with this girl and I think 3 other guys. And so we're standing in line. I think it was a fish restaurant, and then we get the menus, right? Like the one of the places you go in front and then you order, and then you have to go back. And so I'm looking at the menu. I mean, something you do at a restaurant, and this girl, nobody asked her, but just looks at the waiter. Like, I wasn't even at the front of the line, but she looks at the waiter and she says, oh, so these two, so me and my best friend, will need some time because they're from Malawi and that's in Africa. So I don't think they'll be ready to order anytime soon. So they'll need time and maybe have a lot of questions. Well, my best friend and I looked at each other and we're like, yeah, we're not eating here, not with them, we're going home. So, yeah.
I don't blame you.
So I'm not a foreigner, but my mother is an immigrant, and I literally lived in South Korea until I was like 3, and my earliest memories are from there. And we moved around a lot, being in the military family. And I always got, what are you? I'm a human. Yes, but where are you from? I moved around a lot. Right now, I'm from X town. But where are your family from? And then eventually it would come out and be like, oh, well, I'm half Korean. And then it always came with, oh, are you North Korean? No. No, I am not. And the probabilities of you meeting a North Korean are extremely low, so stop asking that. And the amount of times I've been asked what dog tastes like. I don't know. I've never tasted dog.
Wow, that's... Oh my God, dude, that's... Why are Americans so stupid about some shit? Like, why? Why? That's...
So I'm not a foreigner, I'm just brown and first gen, but I think this story is kind of relevant. For context, I went to college in a predominantly white area. I was just walking down the street with my white ex-girlfriend, and some guy hate crimes us for like 20 minutes. That's a story for another time. But one of the things he said was, "What a rarity you two are for being an interracial couple here." And then he turns to her and says something about 90% of, and then he nudges at me, and is like, 90% of fathers, leave their families. See, I didn't want to fight him or anything because I had a knife in my backpack on me, so I was like, I'm not trying to be the one arrested.
Bruh, you should have sliced him open like a fish. Like, you should have gutted him, like, just, talk, motherfucker. Like, for real. Because that's highly, wow, the audacity of people, man. Jesus Christ.
I just got hate crime. Now to the actual point of the story. So we get down to the police station and we're talking to the officer about what just happened. And he's writing a report, and the thing he tells us is, why was he calling you an interracial couple if you're not black? What?
Because apparently only interracial relations happen between black and white. Doesn't matter if you're, of other descent. Nah, that's not interracial apparently. But that should have been, I guess, a lot of folks would kind of treat that as a compliment. Oh, he took you basically, he's treating you like you're white. Because doesn't happen to a lot of people that are not white here in the U.S. a lot of times. And yeah, that's one thing I can figure. That's still very, very disconcerting, though. Well, I hope y'all were as entertained or appalled as I was at 90%, at 70% of this stuff. Like, wow, so we've got some idiots over here. Woo! Good Lord. How do some of these people that have asked these questions or said some of the stuff, like, how they've made it through life and not choked to death on their own spit? Like, seriously. Oh my God. That being said, I hope y'all found this somewhat as entertaining as I did. Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Peace.